What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Road to 150. It's August 10th. Got what 30-ish days before the actual draft starts. Actual season starts. Oh man, I'm excited. Hope, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Football's back on the TV, and I know it's preseason, but I'm a Pats fan, so I got to see the team get out there. Not much inspiring happening from any of our young receivers, but we had some young defensive guys show pretty well in the first half. But again, it's preseason game one. Don't want to take too many takeaways. We'll talk a little bit about that game. But yeah, overall it's good. It's fun. Like tonight, JSN seems like he's gonna play. Addison's gonna play. So it's just fun to get your first view of these guys. I like, this is all supposed to be fun at the end of the day. Like I like kind of getting hype on preseason, but you got to know when to not overreact to things and all that. So yeah, I'm doing good. long way of saying I'm doing good, Davis. Football's back. It's
Football is back. Exactly what it is. We're going to see guys in helmets and no longer shorts for a little bit to be cool. We're going to see some actual hits. We're going to see actual throws instead of pointing. Like the good stuff. I'm just excited about it. And shout out to the pointing. But if you guys don't know, Colt McCoy is now going to co-host some shows over at Underdog. So I would hold those jokes a little bit, guys.
Yeah, with the scheme show that him and Josh Norris are gonna do. It's gonna be awesome. Last year I loved it. That had Josh McCown on with him. Now Panthers QB coach. So that was really cool. And they're basically a starting quarterback in the NFL doing a show on Underdog, which is super awesome. So I can't wait to watch that.
And to top it off, like Colt McCoy's been in the league for so long, and he's he gets a lot of crap, but he's actually been relatively a good backup. Yeah, and like in the games that he just randomly happens to pop in, you still like good fantasy. Like this isn't like Charlie Whitehurst, the keyboard Jesus, clipboard Jesus, where those guys are literally just pointless, or Chase Daniels that does nothing. But like Colt McCoy's come in, and I've gotten some games with him, like Deshaun Jackson when he was on the Commanders and things like that. So I'm always excited about him.
Yeah, well, we can hit on this real quick. Tank Dell, pretty impressive in preseason debut with the starters and with some of the backups. Looks really good. Looks like a good slot receiver potentially. I definitely think just in the next couple days, probably, yes. I mean, we already saw it. Yeah, I saw a screenshot where he went in the 13th round, which is crazy. But will he move ahead of Robert Woods in like the 18th? That's possible. I think there'll definitely be some He already did?
He already did. He's I think on average. No, he hasn't. He's right under. I'm thinking of Mechie. Mechie went up to like
Mechie's up a good bit. But yeah, no, I think there'll be some overreaction, some hype to that. I mean, he looks solid. The catch he made in the end zone, falling down on his back, like ended up saving it before it hit the ground was pretty cool. But other than that, like the real receiver stuff, him getting open, I think he's going to be a solid slot probably. He seemed to show pretty well tonight again against all the Patriots backups. We'll say that, but yeah, we'll see.
I mean, so there was a fun stat line I was doing on one of my articles, and I pulled up Marvin Jones last year, right? He was a wide receiver for his team. No one really thought much of him going into the season. And then 3/4. But here's the thing. He has like 81 targets coming out of like playing behind Zay, playing behind Christian, playing behind Evan Ingram. I think these guys – everyone always looks at the top three receivers and go like, this is it. Like, these are the guys that are going to play. Well, first off, the Texans wide receiver was like really just open, right? Realistically, it's open. So is the Panthers. And if you're buying Nathaniel Dell, like in the end of like the draft of this whole entire season, then it's fine. Like, it doesn't really hurt you either way. And he could usurp somebody. People get injured too. Like, it's not a problem.
I mean, it's literally Robert Woods ahead of him, probably. Like a guy we know can get injured. Obviously, anyone can, but who has been?
I mean, Nico too. Nico's missed like 10 games like per season. So like, not a bad bet. He was drafted with good capital, same capital as Nico Collins, both third round guys. The only difference was Nico was traded up for. So like, congrats to the guys that had foresight, right? Like you saw.
I looked and I had 2 shares of Tank Dell and BBM.
I think I
Randomly.
have like one.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I'm props to anyone that took those bets now, like those bets prior. It's a good
Yeah,
point.
no, I'm super excited for him. I'm not planning to like go out and add. I mean, it's preseason game 2. Like, I think we're just so hungry for football. There's going to be overreactions. But no, he seems solid. I'm not trying to be negative on him. I think he's going to be an exciting player. I don't want to overreact too much and try and draft him like in my next 4 drafts or anything crazy like that. But if I had
like
4 or 5
round
teams,
18 is fine.
I think that's
You're
cool.
hoping for what, one return game on him that his value, so that's cool.
Yeah, 18th
So,
round.
He
Absolutely.
is small though. He's like
He's
weighs
small.
less than me and is shorter than me though. So I don't know. Like that says a lot.
So guys, is he on the 2? He's a little bigger than Tutu Atwell though.
Yeah,
So that's
he's
good.
like literally shorter than me by like an inch, and then like weighs less than me by like 2 pounds or something. I'm like, I got a football body to throw out there apparently. So it's so bad. All right. Anything else, Hope? Anything you take away from the Patriots side? I know you went Tuesday. Thornton did something today, right?
Do what?
Didn't Taekwon have something?
Yeah, Taekwon had a nice catch down the sideline, like a 30-yard catch from Zappy. But I don't know. I mean, that's kind of all he did. Demario Douglas really didn't play. I noticed much. The guy we've been so excited about, which that could be a good thing. Like I saw him in on a couple of like the first couple drives, and then he kind of was on the sideline without a helmet. Which maybe look, they already have seen enough for him to know that they want him to be a contributor, so they didn't play him. Because like you saw, like Keishon Butte, the other, the former like 5-star prospect from LSU. I mean, he played like the whole second half, the whole most second quarter. Like he was out there, whereas Demario Douglas wasn't. So I'm kind of thinking that shows they don't want to run him as much, and he's kind of earned a roster spot. So, but yeah, then Malik Cunningham comes in, the former quarterback at Louisville, running a lot of the read option. He's been playing receiver for the Patriots in camp, but he's still like an option quarterback. And he led the only good offensive drive of the night there in the fourth quarter, scored on a read option, or actually no, he just scrambled for the touchdown, but it was fun. Maybe you have some gimmicky packages from him if he makes the team. I think that's still unlikely, but it was a fun drive, and we'll see from there.
I'm just thinking of all the flea flickers and receptions Tom Brady's had. So like it's not out of the realm of possibility. Like who knows at this point?
No, put him in to run the read option or something, but yeah, no, I'm excited. I don't think Patriots snaps at running back too, like as far as looking to see maybe who's Ramondre's backup. I don't know. JJ Taylor got a lot of run first, second quarter, but Pierre Strong was in on the first drive, and then they did JJ and Kevin Harris, but then Pierre Strong came back in and played some in the fourth quarter. So I didn't really glean too much besides Pierre Strong went out first. But again, I don't know. Watching all three again, both lines for both teams tonight were just getting destroyed left and right. Like CJ Stroud had no time at all. I know everyone saw. I mean, I know you've seen he threw a pick on his first drive, but I mean, yeah, it's preseason. It's preseason at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm still gonna victory lap it, man. Like I just don't like rookie quarterbacks.
You just hate rookie quarterbacks. I get it.
I just don't like rookie quarterbacks. I don't like bad teams. Like it's different if they're on a good roster. I just don't think the Texans are a good roster.
They're not, but man, I really think they could win 6-7 games. Like just how bad that division is.
You can win 7 games. That's fine. Doesn't mean you're a good roster.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But if you win that many games, you probably have some fantasy relevant games from your quarterback. I mean, Mac Jones rookie year, I looked it up. He had 3 20-point games. He had a 19 and a 17 and like 2 15s. I mean, and he doesn't run. Like the Patriots weren't great. They did squeak into the playoffs with like 9 wins.
I mean, 15 to 17 is a losing week. 20 is fine. I get that.
Yeah, he had 3 20 points. He had 3 20s and a 19.
Yeah,
as rookie
Mac
year.
Didn't go to like a bad team. Like he did it.
The weapons weren't great, but they had a good
run. But it wasn't like bad. He also made the playoffs that year, so it's like it wasn't a bad roster overall. So
that's fair.
I don't know.
That's fair.
I don't feel the same way about the Texans. It's a lot of things that go on the Texans that just scare me.
That's fair. I think that's fair. I think that's enough. Game 2 of the preseason talk. You guys will have to let us know if JSN or Jordan Addison are doing anything in this game going on right now. I've got it set to record on my YouTube TV. You know I'm DVRing preseason games to go back and watch the tape later,
Uh,
especially on my guy JSN. I gotta see
what was
what
it?
he does.
UD tweeted. It's like, you guys got 2 hours to start to keep able to draft JSN and Addison at a discount, where they go off on.
I know, that was funny. All
Let's hop
right,
into the draft.
let's do it. All right, you hopping
We're
in now?
Yeah, Chihuahua 2s, guys. If
Okay,
you want to hop
go.
on in, we're going in.
All right, 6, 5,
Go.
4.
4, 3.
I'm glad we got
2.
the same one tonight. Whoa.
Yeah, we're in.
All right, yeah, I see you, Davis. I'm doing a solo stream apparently. There we go.
Do some like little warm ups. I maxed out the Pitbull yesterday, and I've been doing a lot of BBM, so I need to like take like an easier, like less money draft right now.
I was super excited to see this. I mean, $60 with a chance at 25K up top. Pretty good structure throughout the playoffs, I think.
Be a fun max out for sure.
Yeah, I definitely am. I've already done 5 today. This will be my 6th one in the Chihuahua. I plan to max it for sure. I think it's a good contest. Also, the big dog got released. You planning on getting on any of those?
Oof, the Bulldogs.
No, I thought it was the. Is it not the big dog? Did I say it wrong? Okay.
Which one?
I thought they released the 250. Yeah, the big dog, the 250 entry.
The big dogs. No, I'm tapped out, man. Like
you did just max the Pitbull, which is 75 each. So that's 10 entries in that. I get it for sure.
That's a
and we're picking next to each other tonight. This will be a fun one.
Where I belong. I'm in the back.
But no, I love getting. I love these little like 15, 20 maxes for, relatively cheap, being $60 to max it. I think it's really nice, especially when the structure is not too awful. The payouts are relatively flat. Like, I think it's good. I do still hope we get one more 250K to first puppy, like a big $1 million puppy. Keep pushing it with that.
Good.
I just want to see it. I think we're in store for one for sure. We know it'll fill.
Yeah, it'll likely fill, but it's gonna be rough to like try to draft it. I think like half of us or everybody who's been playing every contest coming out, or the majority, we're probably broke, man. Like I can't sell any more blood. It's on. I went there and it was told me I was unhealthy at this point. They're like, "Hey, Davis, this is the 4th time this week."
He's joking, guys.
I'm joking, but it is like a lot of tournaments we've had this year.
March Chase at 5 would have been nice.
It's like 3 times as many tournaments we've had all year. I mean, like in comparison to last year, maybe even more than 3 times.
He's done that, Tyler. Don't worry. He's made that joke too.
You're probably not supposed to mix them, Tyler. That's the part that I got wrong.
Yeah, what's up, Tyler? No, I think that's totally fair. I've only done 1 puppy, so I skipped the others. I skipped what was it? The Hound, the $10. So we'll see, depending on the price structure, if it's really good for the last puppy.
The Hound.
Yeah, I skipped it too. So if we get one more big puppy, I might not be able to turn it down. We'll see.
So these are the contests I've finished up. I did 1 Bulldog. I maxed out Dalmatian 1 and 2 because there were just 4 entries in total. Pitbull, 1 Chow Chow. That was weird. The Hound, I only did 1. That was a stream draft. I maxed out Poodle 1, Poodle 2, Puppy 1, Puppy 2. Maxed out a Chihuahua. Couple of 20 weekly winners, and then obviously we have all the drafts we did in the preseason. So it's adding up.
It's been a fun off season. But yeah, I mean, BBM is the prize jewel. We want to make sure budget for that first.
I'm not rich enough to say that I don't want one of the other big prizes. Like, I'll be cool, like just like winning like the Pit Bowl. That'd be nice.
I would take a win in anything.
Not Superflex though. I don't care.
We know you do not want to win Superflex. You'd actually give the money back to Underdog if you want Superflex.
I'd be like, hey man, Superflex champion's cool and all. Like I get a ring with an asterisk on it. I guess I take a ring with asterisks. Like it's a cool contest. It's just not for me. That's the reason I don't enter those.
I think that's fair. So in these preseason games, once the starters actually start playing, a quarter, a half, what do you look for? Like, are you looking for RB2s on teams? Are you looking for wide receiver rotations? Kind of what is when it's actually the main guys playing? What are some stuff you're looking for?
Oh.
Anything? You think you can glean anything? Like,
is it gonna be bad if I say like I don't care for preseason? Like the only thing I like about preseason games is knowing the practice squad and like the fourth and fifth guys. I care less about the starters because I feel like you know who the starters are generally are, right? Like all of us know at some point like Addison's a starter. All of us know at some point like Jason's a starter. But I kind of want to know who like the fourth and fifth guys are for teams, specifically just because there is some value in them. Like I always joke about Mac Hollins, but like Mac Hollins used to be like preseason hero for the Dolphins, and he was on the team for a long time. And then when he left, he went to do bigger and better things. I bring his name a lot. Rashard Matthews is another guy that was like a preseason hero, always like a third to fourth on our depth chart. I like to know who those guys are because sometimes they're handy, mostly more for redraft or dynasty, but also in that one-off sense if I just don't like the starters. If I think it was a good example, like I think the year we had Preston Williams, right? Like the Dolphins had Preston Williams or Albert Wilson. I was not too excited about the guys that were kind of ahead of them, and I was like, I think these guys are going to pay off better. Jakeem Grant, for the Fins, all Dolphin guys on the list. But like when I really pay attention to those guys, like I think this is like that random sneaky pick. I like to look at those because I'm not gonna sit there and be like, DK's a starter this year. Like, oh my god, I want to see Marquise Goodwin. Was he the guy? Was it DeQuinn? Eskridge, things like that.
Sure. I think that's fair. I
random
ended it. I led the witness when I asked you, but the thing I'm looking for is RB2s on these teams. Like that's the main thing for me. Because I'm glad we got this contest so I could slow my BBMs because I have started to like not guess on some of these late round running backs like a Malik Davis in the late rounds, and it's like I really want to watch to see who these teams are running out there. Cincinnati is a big one. Want to see what that's looking like behind Mixon.
That's a free Higgins. Must be nice.
Yeah,
I wish I was 106.
Man, I even took the guy you absolutely hate in Jalen Waddle. So
I don't hate the guy. It's just tough.
If you guys didn't see it, Davis wrote a scathing article calling Jalen Waddle overrated. I'm just kidding. He did not.
For fantasy best ball, I do think he's a little overrated.
It was a good article. Everyone should go read it. I was just giving him a hard time.
I know. You guys should check it out.
It would have been so nice, James. Jamar Chase even at 4, seeing that is interesting.
But what's funny? What if you would have gotten Chase and then you get Higgins back? Like
that's a 3.
Then you're just the 102, but a couple spots later, you're just the 102 now. Like
gonna get some different combos, the rest of the draft.
I love being like 105 to like 107. It's a kind of a fun spot because there are a lot of slipping right now in drafts. Like a lot of the guys will fall 5 to 7 picks. They don't usually fall 12, but 5 to 7, and you can start getting like these interesting like pickups. Like, I've been very much enjoying that. Like I might have a shot at Jerry Jeudy at 40 something. I might have a shot at like Drake London at like 50. It's been pretty nice.
All right, I gotta ask you. This is the second stream you've been on today, and you have Deebo Samuel on your team in both. Someone you're note worthy for being low on this year. Any change, or just the fact you got him in the 3rd, not the 2nd, or you coming around on Deebo? What's the case there?
So on my Ayuk article, it kind of made me pivot a little bit to Deebo. I don't think I have a lot of them. I don't have any of them, to be honest. Talent-wise, love the guy. Always have, always will. If he became a future Dolphin, I'd be stoked. No hate on him at all as a player.
He could replace that bum Jalen Waddle, right?
Probably. I think so. That guy's already injured. Deebo's in camp right now, like just balling out. I've always just loved like guys who play big, even though they're not as. I mean, he's still like 6 feet, right? But he plays like he's 6'5". But I think for like, we talked about target share. I think Deebo's target share is obviously like more glaringly better than like Kittle's and Brandon Ayuk's. I know he's an efficiency player. He's a pseudo gadget player. He's not somebody like I can't put him next to Amari Cooper and definitively say that Cooper's better. And that's what it came down to. Like round 3 is so bad right now to me. Like I can't definitively say that Metcalf is a good ADP. I can't say Cooper's a good ADP. I can't say any of these guys are. So catching myself not doing that lately. It's like, okay, maybe I should start really drafting them rather than skipping them. And I think that's like a shot at myself to like be a little bit better about the game.
I think that's totally fair. What got me, like I was kind of with you on it just being such a crowded offense with CMC, with Deebo, Ayuk, Kittle. But the stats with the target share when all of them were healthy, it was only 6 games, small sample. But Debo was far and away the highest target share when they were all in the field, 25%. CMC was right behind him, like 21. I mean, I think Ayuk was 16 and Kittle was like 9. That kind of opened my eyes a little bit to like, there's still Debo is still the first read. And, and I get it, like the competition in that offense, that he's going to have his dud games. Like he's going to have his 2 for 22 games and you're just going to have to live with it because he's going to have 40 a couple weeks probably. So,
sucks. It's kind of, I'm gonna get my boy. Screw you guys. I was thinking about taking him like Terry for that week 17. No, the other thing too, it's like I look at me and you have a PFF and we're using it, and I look at the ADOT. I was even talking to you when we were practicing, kind of going through stat numbers. It's like the ADOT for like Purdy is bad.
Yeah.
In my article I wrote, it was like Purdy was a bottom 5 ADOT next to like Matt Ryan, co-host Colt McCoy, like these are not like upside players. And this was my biggest argument against Pittman last year. It's like, hey man, I think Pittman's a great talent, but when you're catching all your receptions at like this line of scrimmage and you make 10 yards, it's still just 10 yards, or 7 yards, whatever you're doing out there. So like Purdy's ADOT's like 7 yards.
Yeah.
It's like it's closer to Jimmy G than it is to Trey Lance, which is why I left Ayuk last year. Ayuk, Trey Lance had like almost a double. Sorry, but that had like a way higher ADOT. So I just thought I really can't get in on it. So a lot of my research kind of made me go, I can't just fade this whole crew. It's got to be somebody. So I think Purdy is going to be playing close to the line of scrimmage. That's why I think CMC is someone that's going to live in that 6 receiving zone, like 6 receptions per game with Debo. So it's just nice to have.
I think that makes total sense. We can skip this. I'll kind of start on this because I know I take a lot more Andrews than you do. I've kind of been jealous of some of the teams I've seen Andrews and then Lamar falling into the 4th. I have not been able to get. I saw one today. Vaporware, I think, posted it. I think he got a Eckler, Garrett Wilson, Mark Andrews, Lamar team. I mean, it was insane. Awesome team. And so I've been I have some reached at the 2-3. I've done it with Jefferson, of course, Hill for that week 17, where I've just kind of decided, like, you know what, I want this Andrews Lamar correlation, and I've reached on it. I have been lucky enough to get a couple of the 3-4s, but I have a lot of just Andrews teams trying to reach it. And so, yeah, it's a little harder to get now than it was earlier for sure. If you really want it, you got to reach 2-3 to do it. It can fall to you at 3-4, and a lot of people are getting it there. I don't think it's awful to reach on it just because other people are getting it 3rd and 4th. Now, yeah, I mean, an Eckler, Garrett Wilson, Lamar, and Andrews is probably beating just my like Tyreek, Lamar, Andrews team, and then whoever I take in the 4th. But it's not guaranteed. I'm wanting to get. I am gonna take Ken Walker actually.
I had a feeling you were gonna get K-Dubs. I was hoping that'd be the case.
You get you Christian Kirk. I thought about Kirk. If this was BBM,
I
would have taken
DJ Moore. I was staring at him. I was like, "Don't do it! Like this guy's coming back." That sucks.
But yeah, it's kind of hard right now to get them 3-4. I mean, you can get lucky, but you do have to get lucky and get Lamar to fall 5 or 6 picks. But.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be common. It's doable. You kind of want to be on the 11 to 12 spot, maybe the 10 spots if that happens. I mean, I think it's cute in the sense of like what it looks like on paper. If you can build a good roster around it, which is very, very plausible. I think I've done it one time.
What, reaching or letting it fall?
Letting it fall to me. I've also passed on it too. Like I had opportunity at it, and I was just like, meh. I just like let it go.
That's lucky.
Yeah, I know some people are gonna be pissed about hearing that too. They're gonna be like, what?
Yeah, I mean, luckily I'm super high on Andrews, so I don't mind if someone doesn't let Lamar fall back to me. I'm perfectly fine just having Andrews. I tend to do that more than just taking Lamar, which is probably bad, maybe. But like if I don't take Andrews and then like Lamar does fall around to me, I tend to pass on him without Andrews. I don't know. Like, what's your opinion on that? Would you still just take Lamar? Like if you get Lamar to fall like 5 or 6 picks to you, but you didn't get like Andrews got taken 2 or 3 picks in front of you. You still scooping Lamar and trying to stack him with the receivers, or are you letting him?
I would do that.
I think it's fair. I probably should do that more.
I have the receiving more balanced than most people. I know people like to say, this guy's the 1, this guy's the 2, this guy's going to dominate. I actually have like their 3 receivers being a lot tighter to each other, with obviously them kind of being like a little small trickle down. and Andrews leading the pack. I mean, plus they're going like at pick 80 to 100. You know, like it's fine. It doesn't cost you anything to really do Lamar and one of his secondary receivers, right? Either
No,
it's Zay Flowers or Rashad. It costs you literally nothing for how high he's being drafted. It's totally fine. And if you have Tyreek or if you have Waddle, like that's your correlation plays. You have Tyreek, you should or Waddle. You need to really push to get more Ravens plays. I think you should
no,
because one, Ravens always smoke the Finns, and then top it off, it's like
not
if that's
last
the
year.
case, they're playing catch up.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And too, likely in the back end. I mean, if you get him on the 18th on a Lamar team with like Zay Flowers, and Andrews, would be unfortunate if he went down. But I mean, that could be just an ultimate league winner type play. And so I do
Man,
tend to like build out a 3 tight end build and get likely on Lamar teams when I miss on Andrews.
Oof, feels gross taking Gabe Davis. He used to be a pick 80 guy. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I am going. Let's see. Who do I want here? I actually don't. I'm just going to take Addison and hope one of these running backs falls to me. I doubt they will, but if they do, I've got some more in this range I like.
I mean, you have what? 4 RBs in place, a 5th in Montgomery, 6th and 7th in Javante and James. Like someone's bound to come back.
Yeah, I think they will.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't too worried about it. I was like, I'll just pull the receiver and see who comes back. If I even wanted one of these guys, I already have, a dual elite.
Yeah, you've got 2 RBs already. I definitely would have taken receiver in your shoes.
Yeah. Probably could have got Dotson for that week 17, but I'm kind of just sold on like Gabe Davis coming into his like, what is it, 4th year? It's 4th year.
The ankle sprain stuff as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, a couple more picks away. I don't know. Like I said, I was just curious. I get it. Like, but I would definitely take to back for what's like. I would definitely take like a Bateman and like Zay. They're not expensive at all. They're not juiced up nearly as much as the rest of these rookie receivers or other wide receiver one contentions.
That makes total sense.
Especially if Lamar being picked at pick 30. Pick 30 to pick 40. Like, if you're taking him there, you have to believe he's gonna do something. No, John Dotson.
Yeah, I'm eyeing Dobbins with a 10 pick fall if he makes it to me. Do what?
No, as a James, why would you do that to me?
I mean, any of these 4 I'll take, and luckily I'm going to get one of them, so we'll be good with that. It's not going to be Dobbins. Trying to decide if I'm going to like enough of the RBs. I do kind of like pairing another one of these mid guys with Ken Walker. Injury stuff a little bit there, but also because of, just the role I think Charbonnet could play. He could have some games where he just doesn't see as many snaps as we think he's going to.
Sometimes it's a hot hand situation. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's really a thing, right? Like, Zach Charbonnet
sure.
wasn't a guy we were coming into the season going, "Oh, that guy's going to suck." Like, we thought he was going to be legitimately good. So, yeah, that is scary. I would definitely pick up a second RB. You got to be worried about injuries. There's no way you can't be.
That's fair. I have been wanting to get more Kyle Pitts, and this is a 7 pick fall, but I've been wanting to get more BBM. I'm just gonna take D-Mont. Do what?
No, I said bum. That's BBMs. I'm just gonna continues to progress. Kyle Pitts. Tempting, but I just can't. I'm not stick to my buddy.
I'm not going to this. No, Davis, you went last year, right?
Last 2.
Are you going this year?
No,
I don't remember. I didn't think so, right? Yeah.
No, I'd like to, but this year I'm not going to be able to. I'm probably going to plan for next year to make up for not being here. But I'm already more disappointed in myself because this is the year that we get Des Bryant. So, why? Love Des, man. Love him. That one's gonna sting. Oh, you know what? I should have scrolled down. There's a lot of good players to grab that I could have grabbed. So, like, even look at this. Like, Zay's at 83. Like, you're not even losing much CLV on him in comparison to others.
No, you're not. I've been scooping up a lot more Zay just to balance out my Bateman, but it's so good to see Bateman back at practice. That
Oh yeah,
is good to see because I was hammering Bateman early on. Um, Looking back, I kind of wish I would have mixed that more between him and Zay. And I still have a good bit of Zay, but I have way more Bateman.
I think my overall exposures are still pretty low on them, but it's like 5% or higher versus being like at 2 or 3. It's like some of the other guys I have. Uh, Obviously,
Andrew's
80
team
have
takes
shifted a lot.
Pitts. Interesting.
I mean, it's a fall, right? He's just
It is
81.
scooping value. I get it. I mean, Kappas can
Kinda.
play in your flex, but
The funny thing is the roster the person has there isn't actually bad. It's 4 receivers, 2 elite tight ends, and a late quarter running back. Like this actually doesn't even look bad in the grand
apparently
scheme.
they're auto picking as well. So
Yeah, it's
James is
really
saying.
good. It's actually a good roster. You got that's Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on the team, and Jerry Judy and etc. It's like actually legitimately a good roster.
And they got Garrett Wilson at 16.
Exactly. It's like
That's
not
nice.
even bad with Bijan. What if we lose to the auto chat? It's like the last roster is actually looking stout.
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, we know you can, if you have your roster limit set, you can auto draft a decent team.
Oh, it's for Brandon Cooks to slip. I've been trying. I mean, I've been saying this for a while, but I've been trying to hope to get more of him. I feel like that's gonna be a stinger. Like when he gets like 1,000 yards, and I go, could have gotten him. Could have gotten him plenty of time. Like I don't really, I don't believe in Gallup that much.
Yeah, no, I've been mixing in Brandon Cooks. I took him, I think, twice today already, in my Chihuahuas because I had a Monera on both of them.
Cortland Sutton Juice has been good. He's been moving up. To be fair, the news that he has had actually is good to hear. Like he's playing more physical. He is not as slow. He's lightened up a little bit on the size, the weight. That's the kind of stuff you kind of want to see versus like, oh, like look at that catch. You know?
Right. Let's see who I want to grab here.
Good old Mitch. Probably gonna lose. Just gonna grab my buddies. Playing the Hits. Yeah.
Go ahead and take Bateman.
Yeah, I feel you wanted Bateman too.
Yeah, I did. Get a little week 17 there with Waddle.
No, that makes sense. Also, like your receiving core is actually really strong too. It's a really strong core. That top 3, it's huge.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, Waddle fell 3 or 4 picks on his ADP, so I like that.
Yeah, I think I'd feel a lot better about someone like Waddle if he was like a round 3 turn guy, or a little bit or less slightly after the turn. He's being like most of the time in the mid-second, so it's really limiting at times to take him.
That and like, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about the Dolphins' offense as far as regression potential?
No, it's huge. There's a very big chance that we just pull back. Like the efficiency levels are just so hard to repeat. Like, yeah, they were just ridiculous. A guy had, I think Waddle had like 8 touchdowns on 4 total like red zone targets. That doesn't make any sense or something ridiculous like that. You're just hoping to be better and make missed tackles and everything. Those things are repeatable, right? Like it technically is, but a lot of those guys don't generally repeat. We saw this with Debo. We've seen this with Deshaun Jackson, Mike Wallace. Like these kind of players just can't always do it. They're obviously different types.
Yeah, I mean, I think Waddle's a better overall receiver than those guys.
I don't know. Deshaun Jackson's pretty.
Deshaun Jackson was awesome. Yeah. He was.
Deshaun Jackson was pretty special. Let's be real. Like I'm never gonna cut that guy out of credit.
No, I'm not trying to like diss him. I don't know. Waddle's awesome.
Yeah, but like the type of efficiency is different too. He's catching the ball in the middle of the field and going for 70 versus catching a 70-yard deep bomb, right? Like, and that's 2 types of like. That's just really tough to play around. Gotta get.
Yeah, Jim. Chris already beating me again. We have a bet going on for fitness. He's at the gym. Can't catch a break while I'm streaming.
B Rob's good picks. I like how we stay consistently just like off the Gibson thing. Like, no, it's cool. To be fair, it looks like we're actually gonna win that battle too, which is like the funniest.
Yeah, we are. I did take some Gibson when he was going in the hundreds.
Oh yeah, like 120, like that's fine. I actually like the people who did Gibson and Robinson because they are direct handcuffs to each other too. Like I'm totally fine with all of that. But I think to like chase him up like 30 picks up the board, and then at one point he was going to pick 80. There was a good hot minute in the middle of July. Like people were like taking Gibson at 85, like ready to be hurt again.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty
insane.
rough. Yeah, and I was like, on the contrary, like I don't think this was ever going to occur. I could have taken J Dubs there. Could have used some more upside players. Want to get Jones. There was a lot of people that don't have quarterbacks ahead of me. It kind of scares me. I feel like on average people hate Dak and Kirk.
Yes.
Yeah, like
They do.
They do.
They fall. They fall all the time.
Yeah. So I'm just like, but D Jones can get reached on. And plus
Yeah, I like your dimes, Fig.
This is a weird team. I don't think I've ever, outside of my three major dudes I usually take, I don't think I've taken like a combination with this Debo, Kirk, Gapes, and Diggs teams. I haven't taken a Diggs in a minute now.
Got Herbert and Tua on the same team. 5th and 8th round. I don't know. What do you think of that? That seems like a little bit of high spend for me on my 2 quarterbacks.
I'm okay. I'm not like, obviously I get the issue, but I think I'm okay with it. If you value quarterback.
James wanting Kirk to fall to him.
If people value like those type of plays, I mean, because I did that last year. Some of my best teams were like round 6, Jalen Hurts, round 7, blah blah blah, like where like Hurts Herbert combos and Hurts Burrow combos. Those were like relatively pretty good. So I'm not against it by any means. It's just the team has to just be ready, or you need to have a plan. I think if you're doing it on the fly, that's a problem. If you're doing it on the fly and you're not paying attention to the room, that can get really, really bad. But if you have the pieces already, that's okay. Because there is value in like taking these upper quarterbacks and winning by 30 points every week.
Yeah, you could say that, but also like, especially if you do it early. I think that Tua is about the line. I would be okay with making them my second quarterback.
Yeah.
I think anyone earlier than Tua, I think it's way too much spend.
I mean, I would do like falling Lawrence.
I've done a lot of like Geno as my QB too. Rodgers.
I think my first 6 picks were solid. 6, 7 picks, and I got like a falling Lawrence into Deshaun Watson. I would do that. Like it's because then I feel like you're already built in the other positions. Oh man, I guess I get Kirk. Do I just take the week 13 loss? No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna get. Been re-adding my Lazards. I feel like I've taken too much fun on Lazard and let it get to me. I need to start grabbing him again. Rodgers is like good. I mean, I have to assume Rodgers is a good player.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I don't hate it. But you have to end there. If somebody went a third quarterback, this would be a different story. I also think I guess Herbert is a tough call because he's at that 4-5 turn. Yeah, I guess that is a little tougher. But I guess like round 5 and pick 90 something to us not the worst. I'd be more annoyed. I've seen it. People will take like Justin Fields and then take like Trevor Lawrence, and I'm like, okay, like now we're doing too much.
That'd been great last year.
That's so true. It
would have been insane last year, actually.
Insanely good team.
And that probably still would have been a 3 QB team.
Yeah, that would have been a 3 quarterback. And your third would probably have been like Goff. People would have done Matt Ryan because everyone was sold to Matt Ryan last year. Stafford, maybe Tom Brady because Tom Brady was still going pretty late. Could have been a winning team if you had those 3. Because you get everyone that advances you, and then you get Tom Brady going off in playoffs, in the finals.
For sure. Are you worried about any of the Damian Harris stuff recently? Got a little blurb, not practicing. These stuff. You got Latavius Murray ripping off 70-yard touchdown runs.
I think I'd care less if it wasn't Damian Harris, right? If it was like, hey, or this is his first kind of setback he's ever had in his career. That man has had back-to-back now concerning injury seasons, right? People talk about his last year, but the year before he was also injured too. So you put those two together. They were both knees. Oh, there goes A-Rod, of course. They were both his knees. See, this is weird. He took A-Rod with like Justin Herbert into it. Like that's like excessive. I was out here defending this person. Come on, man.
Yeah, gotta get your third QB. Getting unstacked.
The
They
name
actually don't
value.
have a single stack, which is fine, you know. They're just picking their guys.
All right, we're gonna just
Dalton
we're,
Kincaid.
we're gonna buffalo this up, baby. I was thinking about taking Harris. I was like, I do like Harris enough. Come on, that was
You coming
Robert
around? You coming around on him?
Kincaid. No,
Yeah. No, you just taking him for the hell
I'm
of
just
it.
taking him. I have no tight end. It's not the worst, you
You
know.
feel like just filling out your roster.
He's not on my roster at this point. I quit. You know, this guy took Rodgers from me. I'm just forget it. I'm out of here. I'm like signing off. I'm gonna quit like Vontae Davis did. I'm just out. But yeah, I am worried about Damian Harris. Like he already has a history, and it's in his knees. You know, it's like, what do we do? I'm a little resentful already. Of like, oof, it could be bad. Obviously, we're still like a month out though, so not the end of the world, but still scary.
I think that's fair.
I'm already at like 20%. I need to like not be further down that road.
Yeah, 11th round Tank Bigsby. It's a good point from James. At some point, I do think it becomes too high. Like at least right now, he's still in kind of that handcuff like RB2 range. But if he gets into the 9th round, I think I'm good there because he was just going so much later in this tournament.
It was like
Yeah, if he goes up,
170.
do what?
It was like 170.
Yeah, I have an early team. I think with him right around like 160. So I think right in the 11th is like my line, like where I just took him. You know, when he's still like Devon A. Chain's, I would say a similar bet, but not really. P. Ryan, Penny, like I think this is still fair for someone we think is going to actually have a role. But yeah, if he gets up, into the 9th, I'm out at that point.
Yeah,
Just because I don't want to lose that much closing line value on all the early
you're
teams.
losing a lot of closing line value. You're also losing a lot of like because he's gonna have what quote unquote usable weeks. But if he starts like jumping past Warren and then some, like by a long shot, then you're basically saying he needs to be every week starter.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna be getting if he's at round 9, he's gonna be next to like Brian Robinson, who will have a bigger role. He'll start being next to like wide receivers we could actually use or quarterbacks. Like, I'm not gonna think like Tank Bigsby will give me more value than Daniel Jones.
No.
Like this just doesn't add up there.
Not even close. I mean, I hope not, because Daniel Jones is my most drafted player. Most drafted quarterback.
I guess we take the fall here. Yeah, I suppose this. Well, I'm gonna really be buffaloed out. All right, we're going full buff. Chinese checkers, Davis here. We got this going. I'm so into Buffalo, guys. I also don't like Jalen Waddle.
That is true. I was talking about, I was just talking like this was a BBM. But yeah, in this tournament specifically, I'll take him like wherever.
I guess that's fair. That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
If Etienne starts dipping more, I will definitely get more in on him for sure.
Etienne is going to be undervalued at some point.
Yeah.
Him and Najee have like this weird slippery slope. I was talking about this with you saw on the show with like Tom. Actually this might have been before the show started. Najee's one of those guys that if he went to 49, we'd all say, "Wow, the 101 is getting like all the gifts. They're getting 4 receivers and a Najee, right? Like, be amazing." So he can't go much further than 45 to 47 without feeling like really, really too good of a value. And then Etienne's in that boat too. If he starts falling to like 49, then the 101, the 102 player can just load up, and get like Henry on the 2 and then Etienne on the 5 and have 3 strong receivers generally, or 2 strong receivers and a quarterback. Like, it gets really scary when those guys start to slip. As much as I think Etienne should be closer to round 5 on the turn, if he does, like, drafting for those guys at the 101, 102 is going to be so broken. It's going to be way too strong because you're going to be able to load up on the best receivers too.
I think that's totally fair.
That's really random, but I've really been plotting how that would work. And I think that's why certain players just don't fall to 49, because everybody in between that would be like, well, that'd be too strong, or that'd be hard to deal with. Or maybe I'm overthinking it, but that's how I would see it. Something person can get, well, even think about like 3 receivers, TJ Hawkinson and like Najee Harris. That sounds like really strong. Or Etienne. Yeah, you can replace Etienne and do three elite receivers, with one of them being Justin Jefferson. Then they get Hawk and Higgins or something, and then they get like Travis Etienne. That would feel like
I
absolutely
also
painful.
saw some good talk today too. That was like us, just that, you know, and I say us as a fantasy space, and there's a lot of it out there. Like just declaring ETN is bad at goal line or is bad at this when, you know, he missed his entire rookie year. He's basically played one NFL season. And again, I'm a big numbers person. You know, I buy into a lot of the stats, but I do think that's fair at some point. Like he's played 1 year, right? And like we're just declaring he's a terrible goal line back off like, and how many goal line? I need to look up to see how many goal line carries he actually even had. Like, what's even the sample size to say he's that bad? And again, like they'd spend draft capital on Tank. Like I'm not saying, you know, they're gonna use Tank, but I do think the other side is fair on that. Brock Purdy at 13.
He could also be like an efficient 1,000 yard, 1,000, 1,200 scrimmage guy with like 7 like scrimmage touchdowns, and that's like relatively good. And if he's a efficiency player over a plotter, then those numbers of those 1,000 yards, which obviously as someone that won money off ETN and someone that didn't like ETN in both years, like it's really good that he can get 20-point games. He can get 15 touches and go off for like 125 scrimmage yards and like a touchdown, right? Like that's very, very plausible for the kind of player he is. He's not gonna truck a person. He's just gonna make them miss and go for the house.
Yeah.
I just think that he gets to 49, it's gonna be a problem. So everyone in the 45 zone is probably gonna be really stoked for a little while. Like, drafted in the pick 45 spot. It's gonna be nice to have ETN there. But I think like we inherently as players know when there's a value and it's too far. That's why I know I think one of my buddies Wyatt was like, Najee at 25 is excessive. And like I agree, but he can't go further than 45, and him at 40 is exactly what that means. He's a 30 to 38, 30 to 45 player where he's being drafted at versus same thing for ETN. He's at 40 to 46 because we're not letting the Justin Jefferson person get a starting running back, straight for free.
Unfortunate, the auto drafter sports enjoy are taking my Stafford. I had set up the cup Higbee, hoping that would come back. It's my QB too, but
took Wilson too. Something Wilson's my second QB.
Mm-hmm.
You see that Wilson has had like a perfect
Russ
season so far. Yeah, Russ.
Everyone is camp right now, I will say.
Yeah, but his has not been like, oh, he's doing better. It's like he went to practice and then went like 15 for 15 like on targets. Like that's like really good.
I'm gonna go with Kenny G here. I don't know what I'm gonna do at QB2 on this team now.
Also, one thing I've kind of noticed is that I really, really hate round 17, 18 running backs. And I'm starting to hate round 18 tight ends because a lot of the tight ends that we used to get are pushed up. And I think round 18 wide receivers are extremely undervalued. You got Michael Wilson still, you got Matt Collins, you got Corey Davis, you got Hardman, you got like Nathaniel Dell, right? Like you have Terrence Marshall, you have Tyquan Thornton, like all in this like butt part of the draft who have way more usability options than like some of these RBs like CEH and like Patterson and Ty Chandler, Deion Jackson. It falls off hard for the RBs and the wide receivers.
I do like your Cleveland team you got set up out of the 12. Going Amon-Ra and getting Chubb Brees still really nice. Keenan there as well. Lockett, yeah, it's a solid team. Waller, Joku. Yeah, I love this team.
If you love us so much, why don't you marry it? No, burn.
Got me.
Got you. But yeah, I've noticed that like I don't want to end up with like having to grab round 18 running backs anymore because obviously they've moved up. Gus moved up. Ty J's moved up. It's gotten really bad. So I think round 18 receivers are very overlooked.
I gotta decide who I want here. I don't know what. I mean, I have like nothing apparent stack wise now that Stafford got sniped. Let's see. Yeah, I did get starter Kenneth Gainwell actually.
Oh my god, we're gonna feel so dumb that we're taking Rashad Penny and Swift so early.
I've been taking a ton of Gainwell.
I've taken a little bit of Gainwell and some Penny.
I'm sorry if you're stacking the Packers, but I'm just taking Jordan Love here as my QB2. A lot of the other like late stacks I could do. also have week 7, like Houston or Carolina, are on my Burrow week 7. So I had to grab that. And I could do a Musgrave late maybe or something.
Let's get weird. All right.
Oh, someone saying, Underdog saying double tap to Tank Dell and Ty Chandler. What's Ty Chandler done in the preseason? I haven't been following. Did he have a big play or a good quarter or something? I have been tapping Ty Chandler a little bit, mixing him in.
Chris G, I think that's my Discord. My Discord's popping off in one of my other ones.
No.
I'll turn that off.
Yeah. I basically live on Do Not Disturb.
I need to start doing that.
Yeah.
Well, Fantasy Six Pack has that subscription right now, so it's we technically have to like listen to our picks, so I have to have it up. And I think that's what all it is right now. They're all talking football, so for no reason. It's not like anything's going on.
Yeah, just a preseason game.
I'm just kidding. I know.
It's Ty Chandler. We're missing out on the Ty Chandler buzz. I'll be watching that later for sure.
Man, this has been tough. Jerome Ford's hurt. Jeff Wilson's hurt. my Jeff Wilson bag's just so bad right now. I'm like 20 like something percent.
And Dalvin Cook's still out there.
Oh, please don't say that to me. You just hate it. You just hate me.
I don't hate you. I have a lot of Jeff Wilson too.
No, I just bet you hate the Dolphins. Like that would be such a Dolphin move, is to take a Dalvin Cook. He'd be our like 19th veteran running back we've taken straight in like.
Nick Mullins just threw a TD.
I like Nick Mullins.
He's from Alabama, I believe. Let me look that up. I think he went to Spain Park High School. I know that means nothing to people listening. Yeah, he did. He's from Alabama. Spain Park.
This team is not too good. All right. I got to fix that.
Yeah, I went with Love to try and get Musgrave. I mean, I'll go ahead and say that. I don't know if I'll get him. We'll see.
At least you call it. You're like.
I think James in the 1 probably wants Musgrave. I would bet. We'll see. I don't think I'm going to reach 3 rounds on him, though, because I still... we'll see. If there's no one else there I like, I'll just... try to decide if I'm going to do a 6th RB or an 8th wide receiver on this team as well.
All right, this is kind of weird.
I don't think he projects any worse than the other tight ends in this range, so I'm probably just going to reach on him to get a stack here. If I don't get sniped on him. Oh, James is already colluding with me in the chat.
James, doing that. We're recorded. Man,
I'm just gonna take him anyway because I don't want to lose him. Because without him, I don't know who I'd be stacking with Green Bay. Not that, in worst case, I mean, I could just have Jordan Love as my QB for the bye week, but I like Musgrave enough. You could take Tucker Kraft, the other tight end.
Why would I do that? I've seen a lot of the den lately in my drafts. I've had very much a lot of cameos. For a while, I was just drafting against Nez in like 50 of my slow drafts. He just happens to be in all of them. Now I'm getting shit tampered. I'm getting Justin. God, it's been a rough one. Yeah. Noble a few times. That's a pain to draft against.
Yeah, it is because me and him all want the same players.
And then also, I think when randomly we were drafting, and then you were in one of mine too, and I was like, "Come on, like really? Like this was like the middle of the night."
Yeah, me and you joined the same one.
I was like,
It's happened twice now.
Yeah, it's just like this is rough. It's gonna happen more often now that people are finishing their BBMs. I forgot I need to max this Chihuahua. This actually doesn't cost us anything to max this thing.
Yeah, I know. It costs you like 2 BBMs to max it. Yeah, this is my 6th one. Did you do any today, or is this your first one?
No, I haven't. I've been trying to catch up on my BBMs.
Oh, you're still ripping through them.
Yep. I'm trying to finish.
I'm at 110. Yeah, I mean, we have different philosophies. Like, I want to draft like 20 the last day or last 2 days it's open. I know that's risky.
I'm gonna have time for that either. I'm always afraid I'm not gonna have like the time crunch to be able to do that. To do 20 drafts in a day.
Yeah. Luckily,
sorry.
I have like far less responsibilities.
Yeah. So I have this thing called marriage to deal with. It's a little rough
Yeah. Yeah, I've
sometimes.
got that solo life where I can just draft whatever I want.
My wife is out of town this weekend, so I might be able to like. I've been really pounding out some content and some work. I'm gonna do another record. So when I finish up this record, you're gonna see me in the same shirt for a third time. Sam really likes his Rick and Morty shirt.
All right, let's see.
This guy. He was really mad. Come on. I was trying to get Hunter Henry. I was gonna get that. Oh, come on, dude.
Man, it's a run on tight ends, huh? I'm just gonna keep it going. Get the Hayden Harris here.
He took Hunter Henry from me.
Get all these tight ends. Just ripping off the board.
I don't even know why I bother, man. Why do I even log on anymore? This has been rough.
I mean, you took Dalton Kincaid. I was like stunned.
I was gonna add Hunter here so I could get that like at least like game correlation, right? Like for fun. And I'm like, nope.
Gotta get that tight end correlation.
Yeah, no, it's tied into Buffalo. I have like the entire Buffalo. I also have one bringback, which is Hunter Henry.
I know, but I meant like Kincaid, Kincaid and Henry.
I was thinking about just getting Kincaid and Knox just to mess with people. Really into the Bills this year, guys. This is really.
Would you do that tight end? I know, like sometimes we'll do like double RB, or handcuff a running back, for uniqueness.
I think I did do that.
Would you do Kincaid Knox?
I think I did. I had a draft where Kincaid went to like 130, 140. This is when he was going like at 105 or 110. Like I got him at like 130, 140. I was like, oh, cool. I was just grab Kincaid. And then Knox like went to like 180. And I was like, well, I guess. And I just kind of ran with it.
Yeah, Liam's done it for sure.
Just really into the Bills right now, guys. Like, I remember I was drafting.
There's Tank Dell, still in the 18th round, but he does go here.
What a reach! He grabbed him at 18-1 when he could have waited to his next draft and got him at 18-5. I was watching a Ship Chasing episode. They were talking about something like that, where people are like, "Oh, I'm so used to getting him at like, 5.4, but when I got him at 5.2, I felt gross. Like I was like, ugh."
I'm probably gonna take a 6th RB on this team. I think I don't know. I don't need. Let's see. I don't really need either 6th RB or 8th receiver. I don't know. Both my positions there are pretty strong. I've not taken any Michael Wilson, but
I've taken some Michael Wilson lately. It's been. I have to.
Yeah, we know you're all in on the Cardinals. You're the one person in the fantasy space.
No, I'm on Cardinal, and his name is Connor. All right, I'm not at any other Cardinals. I'm on Connor, like Cardinal. That's the one guy. But everybody else, I'm all like, yeah. Trey McBride's been kind of interesting too, but the weird thing about the Cardinals is they don't even talk up Trey McBride. Like that's the part that scares me. They don't even talk him up during preseason. It's been Michael Wilson and Marquise Brown and George and James Conner, but like they tell us about like Trey McBride at all.
I just went with the 6th RB. I don't know. Really could have gone either way on that one.
Really would have liked Hunter Henry there. That's cool though. Yeah, I agree with you, Terry. Like, look for a high boom bust wide receiver. I think around 18, 17 receivers are so much better now looking than some of these tight ends and some of these running backs.
I don't think they're anywhere close to tight ends still.
I think a lot of times have been reached on is why. Maybe not around 18, but like
I mean, just like look at all these 16th to 18th round tight ends that win. I mean, there's tons of starting tight ends.
Is like my point though. Is like when you get to 17, 18, it can get really bad because all you guys are getting grabbed at 16, 17s.
Yeah.
You're getting the tight end 3 and you end up with like Cade Otton. I think you're gonna go, man. I really wish I would have grabbed somebody else a little. I mean,
Cade Otton's like I don't think he's that bad, and he's gonna start. He's gonna run a ton of routes compared to some of these receivers.
I don't think he's going to be any. I mean, based on right now, like let's say Cade Otton's here, like you still have Woods, Thornton, Claypool, Michael Wilson, Josh Downs, Corey Davis, Matt Collins.
No, I mean I think all these guys are going to run routes too. Like I don't think they're bad picks, but
It just
I don't
sounds
know.
better than like the last tight end or or some of these
Yeah, I
definitely these
mean,
running backs.
Woods and Otner are the last two for me that I take. I did take Noah Gray today on a Kansas City team without Mahomes. With a Mahomes. I mean,
But
without Kelsey. Sorry, God, not without Mahomes. I would never take Noah Gray if I didn't have Mahomes, but it didn't have Kelsey.
it's like, like I said, but like that's way more names there than there is the tight ends. And I think you can like scoop these guys at 17, 18, and you could grab like a tight end in 16 because the reaching for these tight ends are coming up a lot quicker, especially if you're in a draft where someone's doing 4. I was in a draft where there was 4 tight end drafters, and that was barren. Like I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I was looking for guys that weren't even in the league anymore. I was like, Jimmy Graham, you got me signed, right? Like here we go.
All right. I'm going to recap my team here. We got Burrow and Love at QB. Kind of got boxed out. We were trying to set up Stafford we had Cup and we had Higbee. Got sniped on him. So we pivoted to Jordan Love there. RBs, 6 RBs. I think I could have stopped at 5, but ended up going 6. Really couldn't decide there. Ken Walker, Demont, B-Rob, Tank, Kenny G, and Ty Chandler. Well, I think it's a super solid RB room. Got some plotter guys like Demont and B-Rob that should get, a good workload.
Even Tank. Yeah.
Yeah, even Tank should be out there, but those two feel like more established roles. And then the buzz on Kenny G is really good as maybe having a pretty big role with the Eagles. I know I think he's had the most snaps of the first string in camp. Then we've got Cooper Kupp, Jalen Waddle, Higgins, Addison, Bateman. Yeah, I really like these receivers. Got the Cincy stack with the MVS run back. Really like that. You got Jalen Waddle. And then we had, Higbee, Musgrave, Hayden Hurst at tight end. Kind of punted it in this room. But like these 3 guys as punt tight ends.
I mean, I like it. It's a good salvage. I think you salvaged really well with your 6 RB. I kind of forgot you had a late RB run on to top it off, like an uncertain with Walker. I probably would do this exact build if Walker was.
Yeah, I mean, I feel good with 6. Have like Walker and Demont and even B-Rob, like they have direct competition with like RBs that people like. I mean, Brian Robinson has a guy going in front of him on his team. Demont as well. They all I mean,
guys do. Your entire team has somebody ahead of them.
Yeah, well, not Kenneth Walker's ahead of Charbonnet, but someone who was just drafted. So like, I kind of like that's why I like 6 with when you're just looking at the roles these RBs are going to play. I think it makes sense with 6. Yeah. And again, you're betting on a massive season from Cooper Kupp. Jalen Waddle's boom bust. Addison. So I think all that makes sense.
You salvage a lot because you have half PPR guys and 2 efficiency deep efficiency guys. It's all fair play.
All right, we got your team pulled up now.
We got D Jones. The everyone unanimous. Hey, I don't have a stack. Let's put it together with Daniel Jones, quarterback.
Yep.
A minor reach on my end, but I just feel like he can go sometimes, and it feels bad. Derek Carr, Derek Henry, Najee Harris, James Conner, Damian Harris, Devin Singletary. Another form of team up the gut. Yeah. But these guys are all like pseudo 3 down backs, all besides the final 2. Diggs, Debo, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, Michael Thomas, Alan Lazard.
And you hit all 3 of your guys.
I got all of my guys. But I did mix it up. I have I summoned the spirit of the BBM2 winner, Liam, on this one, and I took a lot of Bills.
You did take a lot of Bills. 4 Bills on this team.
Christian Kirk versus Terrence Marshall for their bring back. Didn't really get a good bring back on the others too much. Just didn't happen. I try to get stacks, as you can tell, but I wasn't expecting 3 quarterback Rodgers teams. But a lot of deep shot plays. And then my tight ends is Dalton Kincaid, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is always an upside. And then Noah Fant because we need a 3rd tight end.
You did not miss it. We missed the old clip. We got to do it. I mean, the fact you took Michael Thomas and you took James Conner and you took honorary old Najee Harris. Davis drafts another old.
I don't know. I just like them older.
I think Najee gets the better. Yeah, we did add that. Najee gets the honorary old. At least how he's treated space.
But what's funny is that I was helping the owner of the website, Fantasy Six Pack, Joe Bond. Follow him, by the way, if you haven't. He actually had like a top 2 top 2 like accurate rankings for redraft, which is like insane. But he was drafting his BBM. Sorry, he's not BBM. He's drafting in, I want to say FPPC. And he was,
Yeah.
I was recommending, like, that's who I would take. And he literally just out of nowhere, this is the oldest team I've ever drafted. I'm like, it
Yeah,
was like
I do that every draft.
round 16. He just like says to me, like, this is literally the oldest. I recommended Corey Davis at the end of it. It was like at the end of the draft. He's
That's
like,
funny.
this is such an old roster.
All right. Gerardo DFS wants the sauce. Let's see what he's got going on here. We got Mahomes and Jarrett Stidham on this team with, let's see, Kelsey, Gerald Everett, and Irv Smith. Let's see, Josh Jacobs, DeAndre Swift, P. Ryan, Tajay, Leonard Fournette, Chase Brown. I think that makes sense as a 6 RB team for sure.
Pause on that really quick. I think Brown has gone basically for free at this point. Like, I think Brown's probably one of the guys I'm not paying attention to that I should.
Yeah, it's still so, like, that's a situation I want to see Cincinnati's week 2 preseason game. Like, who is going out there as the RB2? I don't even know if Mixon will play, but
like, it's an open space for that right now. And we know Mixon has injury history. We know that he can be kind of a toss-up. And also, like, it really costs you nothing. And I kind of forgot about this player. I forget about him quite a bit.
And then London, Marquise Brown, Quentin, Treylon, Odell, Marvin Mims, Alec Pierce. Obviously, the Denver stuff. I gotta ask. I have not seen Jarrett Stidham drafted on anyone else's team.
Yeah, that threw me off.
Gotta ask what the theory was there. You just completely out on Russ? Do you think it's like a uniqueness play for the playoffs, or you think Russ is washed? I'm just genuinely curious. I haven't seen anyone else pick Jarrett Stidham. I know he had a long Mike White conversation
I think
last
that's
show.
what this is.
Yeah, I think it could be similar. I mean, if you just think Russ is washed, or are you just going for like the uniqueness play there in the playoffs? You've got Denver stuff set up. Denver, LAC.
Wilson's been hurt the last 3 seasons. He's been hurt the last 3 seasons. If you're banking that Wilson gets hurt,
had those 30-point games.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Wilson can get hurt. You know, John Payton's a good coach, and the weapons are good. This is the same narrative, right? If you think Mike White, if you think Gardner Minshew, I think this will be those kind of like ideas.
He said, I think Sean Payton. Yeah, I mean, he brought in Jarrett Stidham. I don't know. I don't know if it nearly constitutes being his guy, just being signed as a backup. I don't know. It's a bit too gal-brained for me. I probably would have just been boring and did Tannehill with your Tajay and Treylon.
Yeah.
It's probably a Ritter. I mean, that, but maybe I'm just not galaxy brain enough to see that. I mean, it could be huge. I mean, he did have some good games, but it's interesting. Yeah, I hadn't seen that from anyone else.
Besides that, though, like this is a very correlated team.
Yeah, I like this. I like this team a lot.
Very correlated. I do think the receivers got balanced out, but also a little bit weak at the same time.
Yeah, that's the one thing when I do Kelsey Mahomes, I usually do a 0 RB team just to catch up at wide receiver. So I probably am not doing Jacobs, but I don't mind it. Like,
I think this was still fine. He got
value. The spend is not bad.
Yeah, the spend's not bad. I think the third tight end is what kills it here. I think you could have used one more receiver. Like I said, I said it before. I really believe that final, especially if you're gonna reach on Everett, by 2 rounds.
Yeah, the reach on Everett, I would have been like, you know what, these are my 2 tight ends. Like, you're making a big bet on Everett. I get that he correlates week 17. Irv does, but I probably am just taking another receiver there.
I'm buying Hollins and like Corey Davis on this team and just throwing them in here just to like really suck up like more depth in this position, because these are a lot of questionable receivers.
Yeah, I mean, I like the first 4 for sure, but we'll see. All right. Cool. I think that's gonna do it.
101, our boy Jagbags.
Oh yeah. We gotta check him out.
Oh, what? I saw his roster. I'm really jealous of that.
All right, we got Hurts and Kirk with Jettas, Devonta Smith, Hopkins, John Dawson, Juju.
Yeah.
That's
really good. That's really good.
Yeah, a Hawkinson's Jefferson Kirk team with Jalen Hurts, Devonta. I like that a lot. Kind of like I don't really think you call this 0 RB. You could call it maybe like a late anchor with Akers. But I think that the spend on the running backs makes a ton of sense. Got 3 kind of mid guys.
You got a falling value on Gus.
Akers
Mitchell fell. Pacheco fell a little bit. Cam Akers on his turn. That's really good.
Yeah. No, this is a super solid team.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a really good one.
I might have done a third tight end. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would have taken away. Wait, he might have. We don't see his last pick.
Oh, you know what? It
That's
probably
right.
is. Yeah. That's a good roster. That's a really good team. And if he even doesn't even grab a third tight end, still at the end of the world, like that's a solid one.
No, it's not. Yeah, he took Michael Wilson. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, you got you spent a 4th rounder, right, on Hawkinson, so you're betting on the big season there. It's not a must for sure.
Technically, it's a 5. It could have been a 5-1. It could have been his 5th.
Yeah.
No, I joke, but yeah, that's a good team. Must be nice.
Nice. To get the Hurts Devonta at the 1 is really nice.
I mean, even getting Justin Devonta is like pretty strong because Devonta is usually gone by 21, 23, right? So very impressive. All right. Other than that, guys, thanks for hanging out for the episode. We have elapsed past an hour. Hope, any last words?
No, this was fun. We're gonna have some fun shows next week as well. I'm gonna hold us to it. I meant to either do it tonight, but we said either tonight or next week. We're gonna look through our BBMs, let's find one from early, one from kind of like June, and then one recently that we think are really good, and kind of review those, and then do a draft. I think that'll be a fun show to take a look at, where we were at early on, and look at the ones we liked. And if you find one you think is just absolutely hilariously bad, you've like got 3 injured players or something, we can talk about them too. Or maybe we'll do that one like with all our bad BBMs and one with the good ones. But
over under, does my roster have a Connor or Michael Thomas on it? The one I pick.
No, it's definitely going to. It's funny, the other day on one of the streams, they went through Liam's BBMs and like had to keep clicking until he found one without a bill. We should do that with you, like without Najee, Connor, or Michael Thomas. Keep clicking until we find one. That would be funny.
I don't think that's gonna be possible. We're probably gonna be there all night.
Yeah, it might be one we did together or something.
Oh God, I can't.
All right. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Like, subscribe. Really appreciate you guys. And yeah, we'll be back next week.
Bye.